Just to be clear, this is not a bike related video, but it's about something I'd like to discuss with you guys. Hi guys, I can't believe that it's been already 2 years since I rebooted this channel and I started making bike travels related videos discussing whatever I have in my mind about maintenance, riding and training topics. 2021 was a quite good year, but I have some great things planned for the next year, or at least this is what I tell to myself every year. Nevertheless, the past year was actually pretty good and I think that I actually managed to get started with many of the things I had planned in the past. But frankly, over the years I've noticed that the main pattern of the so-called New Year's resolutions is not so promising. So, to sum up, this year started great as I was accepted for a second time to the Jitsi sponsorship program, and without a doubt, this was a great source of motivation for me. Also, I continued being coached by Vincent Hermans, which had been one of the best decisions I've made, and this pushed me to further progress my riding technique. Moreover, I continued producing videos for this channel, and earlier this year I started discussing on some non-maintenance related topics. And last but not least, I finally started the XC Cycling project, which had been in my plans for quite a long time. However, there are many ideas that are still on hold, and given that you could tell that I failed in my last year resolutions, but I don't think so, as I have never set clear objectives for 2021, and this is an out-of-topic issue I'd like to share with you, as it had helped me for the past years and I believe that it could be also quite helpful for you guys. Disclaimer, I'm not planning to start creating many of such out-of-topic videos in a regular base, but I know that tomorrow we all are going to get flooded by social media stories about the New Year resolutions of others, and this feeling of restarting at a specific point in time may seem quite motivating, but I think that it's a trap. I know that everything has to start at some point, and if you prefer the first day of the year to do it, then just do it. But unfortunately, most of the aims that we set these days are not going to stick for long, and we all can be blamed for failing on these ones. However, the past few years I tried to find my way to get things done, and I think that I can share 5 points that helped me in that direction, and who knows, maybe they could be also helpful for you guys. First of all, set your goals, but also try to find intermediate steps to get them. Very often we just try to focus on the final goal, but sometimes it seems too far to reach, and this may discourage us to get there. For example, I'll stick to a simple bike-related goal, and let's say that you want to get a new move or a new trick. I know that it may be hard in the beginning, but if you focus on different aspects such as your technique or the different setups for taking off and landing your moves, it can make your journey to achieve your goal more enjoyable, and thus it's more possible to stick to your plan. Make a plan, or even better, make alternative plans, and do not hesitate to replan if needed. Sometimes our route to the goals we have set is not the best one, so be ready to change your plan as often as it's required if that means that you keep being focused to your general goal. Our journey to achieve our goals is often getting towards a dead end, either because our goal is not achievable at this point of time or because we are on a completely wrong track. For example, it took me 6 years to actually kickstart the idea of the XC Cycling project, and although I've changed my plan so many times, I'm still halfway there considering what I have in my mind. Realize that some aims should be planned for the long term, and thus they cannot fit in the whole idea of the New Year's resolutions. Everything looks much more achievable if you take away the idea of deadlines and time restrictions. However, it's always beneficial to set some unofficial deadlines to check your progress towards your goals, but do not get frustrated if you don't get them. I really think that this long-term planning idea is something that creates a real commitment to your goals and makes you fall all over again for your goals each time you reassess your progress. However, this long-term commitment to a goal that you may get in the future is for sure a subject for critique by anyone else that do not believe in you, and so you have to learn how to ignore everyone who isn't by your side to this journey. Arguing to support your decisions isn't going to stop anyone who is to criticize your aims. The only thing that you can do is to prove anyone wrong and keep chasing your goals. Accept that even if it takes forever to get to your final goal, you'll never give up, and at the end you will have got further than you could have ever been on that journey. You may never become the best rider, or you may never become the best at your profession or your art, but at least you'll be able to say that you never stop trying, learning and advancing towards your goals. So it doesn't matter if you didn't achieve last year's resolutions, and it will probably happen again this year. It doesn't matter if it seems that you chase your goals every year or even every other month. We've all been there. Learn to admit that you may have to replan many times while being focused on your long-term goals. I really believe that the best decision that we all can make this year is to set a new set of more generalized aims to chase and stick to them for the long term. This will help us be more focused on whatever we do, and at the end it will be a great motive to push forward to become better in everything we do. So if I were you this New Year's Eve, I would plan at least for the next 5 years and I try to stick to my plan. What will be your goals for the next years to come? Don't worry if you are not ready to share them right now. Take your time to set your goals and the right time for you to start will come soon. It doesn't actually matter as long as you finally set the goals that will make you feel fulfilled and happy. Happy holidays everybody, thanks so much for your support, and starting next week we'll get back to our usual bike related content. Happy New Year, and let's make this year even better than the previous one.